tonight we're going to take our lesson a little further and add and subtract polynomials. And a little comic there for you. What do you call a bird that doesn't eat? A polynomial. Polynomial. Tonight we're going to subtract and add polynomials. And one of the key phrases you can think about is to find and combine. So you're going to find the like terms, and we talked about that yesterday, the same variable with the same exponent. You combine their coefficients by adding or subtracting and express your final answer in standard form. Take a look at the first example. X cubed plus 3x squared, and these are in parentheses. You'll see why in a moment. But this is all addition. So I'm looking at each of the signs that precede the term in order to determine whether I add or subtract. Well, I have an x cubed, and there are no other x cubes. Then I have a 3x squared, and I'm adding to the 3x squared a negative 2x squared. And this is a negative 2x squared. So that gives me a positive x squared. And then all that I have left is a negative 9. So I just write negative 9. You could write plus negative 9. It doesn't matter. Example 2. This one's a little bit more lengthy. So take your time and see what you can do with it. The first thing that we have is a y cubed. And I had 1y cubed and 4y cubed, so I got 5y cubed. Then I add to that x squared and a 2x squared, giving me 3x squared. And finally, I had my constants. I combined those, and I ended up with negative 5. Try number 3. And if you need to pause here, you can do that. If you'd like to stay with me, I will walk through this one with you. All right, I see a negative 3x to the fourth. Now, when I look at this, I try to look at the highest power first. So I have a negative 3x to the fourth. I'm adding to that an x to the fourth, and that's all I have. So if I do that, I get a negative 2x to the fourth. And then I want to look at my next term, which would be an x cubed. Well, there's only one x cubed, so I'm going to add that plus 2x cubed. And I also have a 2x squared at the beginning. That happens to be negative. So I'm going to subtract 2x squared. And then I have to pay attention to my constants. I have a negative 2 and I have a positive 10. So that's going to give me plus 8. You might want to pause here and try the next one on your own. When I complete everything there, I get negative 2x squared. Everything else cancels out. Now, subtraction is where it gets a little bit nasty. And those of you who tend to be impulsive and not show work and like to skip steps, I'm going to caution you severely here. The opposite of a polynomial is the polynomial that results from multiplying the whole thing by negative 1. For example, the opposite of 3x squared minus x is negative 3x squared plus x. So what I'd like you to do before we get started is write the opposite of each of the polynomials, come back and check your answer with me. The first one, x cubed, that should be negative x cubed minus 4x minus 6. The second one, negative y to the fourth plus 8. And the third one, y cubed minus 2y squared plus 3y minus 4. If you have issues with any of those particular polynomials, be sure to see me. Now, like subtraction with integers, polynomials can be subtracted by adding the opposite. I would suggest that you write it all out. Do not try to do this in your head. So we're going to rewrite the problem. 5y cubed plus 6y squared minus 2y cubed minus 2. You have to distribute that negative. Okay? So then we can combine away, and if you do that, you should get a final answer of 3y cubed plus 6y squared minus 2. Why don't you go ahead and try the next one and come back and check with me. Rewrite it. So if I rewrite that, it's negative 2x squared minus x to the fourth plus 3x to the fourth plus 2x squared and plus x. If you combine like terms, you should get 2x to the fourth plus x. Alrighty, I'm going to show you another technique that could be used to subtract or add, and that's the vertical method, and you learned this in elementary school, but it's a little different with polynomials. So in this case, you would want to take this whole row and rewrite it. So I would write minus 4x to the fourth minus 3x squared. And then they're lined up, and you can just do the 7x to the fourth minus 4x to the fourth is negative 3x to the fourth, negative 3x squared, negative 3x squared, negative 6x squared, and 9x just comes down. Okay. So you can also work these vertically, up to you. If you do, I would suggest you rewrite this because this negative out here applies to every term that follows it. So why don't you pause here and try the next several on your own. Take a look quickly before you do that at 8 and 9. Notice when whoever rewrote this, and if you see these, you might choose to rewrite them vertically, they skip the terms that are not the same. So they're only lining up the things up and down that are like terms. So here there was no x cubed in number 9, so they just went right to the x squareds. Okay? So they're just lining up the like things. Go ahead and try 7, 8, and 9. If I rewrote number 7, I would get subtracting x cubed, subtracting 2x squared, subtracting 12, and I would ignore that line, and now I would go ahead and combine, giving me negative 6x cubed minus 6x squared minus 20. Final answer. Number 8, 2y squared plus 8xy, that's plus 3. All right, and number 9, we're going to get x cubed minus 2x squared plus 10x minus 15. So you can practice down below on your own any method you would like and come back and check your answers. The answers are all up here for those questions, those 4 questions, and you'll notice that in some of them I kind of lined them up so you can go ahead and just combine like terms vertically. It's up to you if you want to take the step to do that. It's just another technique you can use to keep your like terms together. So hopefully you did all right with this, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great night.